Today, we are going to learn about a miracle that Jesus performed using 5 small loaves of bread, 2 small fish. So, this story is a miracle. And if you're not sure what a miracle is, by the end of this story, you will definitely understand what a miracle is. Sometimes you hear of magicians or doing tricks and making things jump out that seem amazing, but those are not miracles. One thing you must definitely remember is that only God can create miracles and make miracles. So, this story is about when Jesus made more food for many people, just out of these 5 loaves and 2 fish. So, Jesus had sent his 12 disciples out into the country, and he gave them the power to heal sick people and tell others all about God's love. And when the disciples returned, they met with Jesus to tell him about all the people that they had talked to and had healed. They were all very excited to tell Jesus about their adventures. The problem was that wherever Jesus went or the disciples went, people followed them because they knew that Jesus had performed other miracles and they wanted to see more. So Jesus knew that the disciples wanted to talk to him and they hadn't had much chance yet. So he said to them, "Come with me and we'll find a quiet place to go and talk and get some rest." So they went away by themselves on a boat to find a quiet place. But many people saw them leaving and they recognized them and they ran after them on the land. Now, the boat that Jesus and the disciples were in was slowed down because there was wind. So by the time they got to the other side, there was already a large group of people waiting for them and who wanted to speak to Jesus. So Jesus and his disciples arrived. Jesus could tell that all these people were there to listen to him, and he loved those people. So he knew that his disciples would understand, and he decided he would start speaking to everybody, the huge crowd. As he spoke, more and more people arrived, and eventually there were as many as 5,000 people listening to him. But now it started to get late, and the sun started going down, and everyone was hungry. They'd been listening to Jesus the whole day, and nobody had any supper yet. So the disciples came to Jesus and they said, "There's no food around here, and it's already getting late. Maybe we should send the people away so that they can go to the surrounding towns and to get themselves something to eat." But Jesus just replied, "You can give them something to eat." Now there were 5,000 of them. So the disciples didn't understand this, and they said to Jesus, "We can't feed all these people. We would have to work for almost a whole year to give them food." But in the crowd, there was a little boy. And one of the disciples, his name was Andrew, he noticed this little boy. He had his small little lunchbox with him. And he had in his lunchbox 5 little loaves of bread. So they were little mini loaves and 2 small fish that he was going to eat. And so the disciple went to Jesus and he said, "There's a boy here and he has 5 small loaves of bread and 2 small fish. But that is not enough to feed all these people." So Jesus just smiled and said, "Ask everybody to sit down." So there was lots of grass and everyone was seated, all 5,000 of them. He told them to sit in groups of 50 and 100. So there were lots of them all around. And Jesus took the loaves and he thanked God for it. And then he told his disciples to pass the bread around, to break it and pass it around. And the same with the fish. They did that and handed it out to the people. It multiplied. Now, multiplied means it grew more. So as they handed one loaf out, then another loaf landed up coming into the basket. And as they handed out a fish, another fish arrived. So everybody could eat as much as they want. So after everyone had eaten, there were 12 baskets worth of food still left over, and everybody had eaten and eaten and carried on and had seconds and thirds, There was so much food, right? And just remember that there were only originally just 5 small loaves of bread and 2 fish. Only enough really for one boy to eat. And there, 5,000 people had eaten all of it. I mean, there's probably only there's not even 5,000 people in our school. And Jesus managed to feed everybody, our school and another school worth of children, of people like that. So he didn't want anything to be wasted. He counted them up the baskets. And then the crowd was amazed that there was extra left over. And they said, this man must be very special. And of course he was. He's the Son of God. And that was a miracle because he produced so much bread and fish just out of that little basket that boy had. Nobody else could ever do that. You can't trick anybody into making more bread and more fish out of nowhere. So that was a true miracle that Jesus provided for the people. And that's the story of the 5 loaves